Shalom. This is a message for Hebrew women, exhorting us as women of the Most High to refrain or to not use cuss words or profane language. I really was thinking about this topic for a long time, and over the course of the 20 years that I have been in the Hebrew faith, I have seen a progression from this thing where, this walk in which we was really striving after righteousness, striving after holiness, to seeing that over time I've been seeing various women coming into the faith and being told different things about how to live a holy life that really doesn't line up with the Torah and how the scriptures show us as women to behave and how to speak and things of that nature. The book of Proverbs highlights at least two different types of women. And for the most part in the series that I work on and other women work on, we look at the woman of Proverbs. We look at the Ishek, we call her the woman of Proverbs, the virtuous woman, the woman of strength and valor. And we look at her as being a role model and also a person to look up to on our progression through life. But the book of Proverbs also highlights the foolish woman, and it also highlights the clamorous woman. So a woman is used to represent both wisdom in the book of Proverbs, but a woman is also used to represent foolishness. And Proverbs 9 verse 13 says, "A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing." So when we're looking at ourselves as being Hebrew women, we always have to try to line ourselves up and say, okay, are we following after the wisdom of the Most High and the wisdom of the Word and the wisdom of the Torah, or are we following after foolishness, which would be our carnal minds, our calamity, things that are not conducive to holiness? I have spoken to multiple women over probably the last 10 years. And I've heard different things in speaking about profanity and cuss words in general. And one of the things that I've heard is that since the Torah doesn't specifically say not to cuss, that, cussing is fine. It's kosher. Cussing is kosher, we'll say that. But when we look at the Torah, and what is the purpose of the Torah? What is the purpose of us doing these commandments? When we look at the Torah and the fact that the Most High has given us these commandments, we have to look at why he did it. Leviticus 19 verse 2 says, "Speak to all the congregation of the sons of Israel, and say to them, you shall be holy, for I, Yahweh, your Elohim, am holy." So the Torah, the commandments, are given to us in order to show us the holiness and the holy lifestyle that the Heavenly Father, the Most High, Yah, would have for us as his people to live and how to walk in. And so the Torah is designed to give us boundaries. It's designed to give us physical human limits so that we know what is acceptable to him and what is not acceptable to him. So when I think about this, we look at the different levels of the Torah. There's the heart level, there's the speech level, there's the thoughts level, there's the action level, what we do with our hands and what we do with our feet, how we react to things, how we interact with people and different things of that nature. And so we can't overlook all of the components of keeping the Torah. And we can't limit it either. So when I look at profanity and profane language. There's different words that are used for it. I wrote down some on in my notes. Profanity is one. So when we're talking about holiness, the opposite is profanity. Foul language, so that's the opposite of clean language, right? Swear or curse words, that's the opposite of blessing. Adult language, that's a politically correct name for it. Bad language, obscene language or obscenity. Blasphemous language or blasphemy. It's interesting that blasphemy is calling something that is unholy holy, or calling something that is holy unholy. Expletive, a dirty word, an imprecation, which is a spoken curse. And cuss word comes from, curse word. So when we're looking at who we are as his people, instead of us having a profane language or profanity, we should have a holy language, or the Lashon HaKodesh on our tongues. Instead of us being into this obscene and this foul language, we should be a set apart people. So our language, right, should be set apart. And if we have a converted heart or a converted soul, what flows from that? What type of water flows from our fountain? Because, and that's what James speaks about. What comes out of our mouth is what's in our heart. So when we're looking at being Hebrew women, it's very important that we set boundaries for our language. How we speak should not look like the world and how the world speaks, but how we speak should look like how the Most High speaks. And so how does he speak? He speaks in holiness and in uprightness and in cleanness. If I'm teaching my children, I'll never forget my son when he was younger. He might have been 4 or 5. He said a cuss word, and my husband said to him, he said, do you hear your daddy speak like that? Does your daddy speak like that? And my son said no. And he said, so neither should you speak like that. When we're training our children up, we teach them not to use this type of language. It's considered inappropriate for a little child to cuss. And so that's why we say adult language. But it's really inappropriate for us to cuss as well. When we are in Deuteronomy chapter 6, where it speaks about impressing the command and impressing the Torah on our children, it says that we should speak about the commandments when they wake up and when they fall asleep and as we walk along the way. And so as a lifestyle, we are showing our children how to live and how to live for the Most High and how to interact and how to do different things. And so if we are showing them bad examples, then we can expect to reap, that bad fruit from those bad examples. So the Torah is about setting distinctions. It's about setting boundaries. So when we're looking at our language, we must be about setting boundaries for our language. We must be about setting, if we're going to be with the world and speaking like the world and looking like the world, or if we're going to be with the Most High and speaking according to his holiness, his uprightness, always bringing life into the situation, always bringing light into the situation. The last thing I want to talk about or think about right now is I will never forget speaking to a close friend of mine in the faith. And, I was speaking with her about being a light in the world and how, sometimes, people in the world, they will try you. They will really try you. They will do their best to pick at you and try to pull you out from your righteousness, try to bring you back to the carnal you, try to bring you back to the you was before you knew the Most High. But what we have to understand is that we've been transformed. by the renewing of our mind. And so where we're at now is totally different from where we was at before we knew him. So we are light. And what does light do? Even if light is in darkness, think about a star. You know, a light shines. It doesn't matter how dark it is all around. So if I'm used to a certain language, just because that's the way I spoke when I was in the world, when I come into the Most High, when I become transformed, then it doesn't matter what happens. It don't matter who says what or does what to me. I'm light now. And so I'm going to shine no matter how dark the situation is around me. You know, we have to think about, are we representing the Most High in a good way? Or are we misrepresenting him? And one of the best ways we can misrepresent him is how we speak. If my son brought home a woman and she's sitting in my house and all she's doing is cussing, I'm going to be like, you need to leave her alone right now. Don't even know. You know what I mean? She came in the house. She disrespected the family. She's just sitting up here cussing, talking all kinds of reckless ways. Leave her alone. If we're talking about being women of the Most High, you know, that is not the representation that we should be carrying out for the world, carrying out for our children, carrying out for our spouses, and carrying out for anyone else, because that does not represent him well at all. What really upsets me is that, you know, we have a lot of people coming in, and so they say that, you know, when they was in the mainstream Christian church, they didn't cuss because that's just not a Christian way to behave. But coming into Torah now, I have a liberty. And when I hear these types of things and these types of thought processes, I get really disturbed, because if anything, the bar should be set higher. You know, the Torah sets the bar higher. It doesn't set the bar lower. So I just pray and I hope that this was a blessing to the women. This is not meant to be argumentative. I'm not trying to tell adults how to act or how to behave themselves, but I am trying to encourage women that if you want to say that you live for the Most High, then be about it, you know, be about it in every way possible, you know, but always start from within. Start from within, get yourself converted, get yourself changed. And really that should naturally change your speech and your actions and your heart and your thoughts, everything. But just be careful how you speak. You know, be careful, walk in wisdom. You know, think about the foolish woman or the wise woman of Proverbs, and always try to seek to be the wise woman. Yah bless.